first of all, the good news is that burglary in general is going down. However, residential burglary as a total of overall burglary is up. Now, in condominiums, home burglaries are primarily a concern during the day. They can certainly happen at any time, including 3 o'clock in the morning. But primarily, burglaries in condos happen during the day, basically between 1 and 3 p.m. is prime time, because it's most often likely to be professional housebreakers. After that time, between 3 and 5, it's likely to be high school students on their way home. Now, a couple of things about burglary in condos. We know that the most vulnerable suites are the first floor, the second floor, the top floor, because bad guys believe that everybody that lives in the penthouse is richer than God. And the other risk factor is typically proximity to a stairwell. So if your residence is close to a stairwell, it's a little more vulnerable than a suite closer to the elevators. But with that said, the overall break-in rate in condos is lower than the break-in rate for conventional single-family dwellings, and much lower than the break-in rate for townhomes, which continue to be the most frequently burglarized occupancy in Canada. One of the best ways to deal with it is to put locks on the stairwell doors. These locks still allow you to evacuate. And the other thing you want to do is put card readers in the elevators. And it's very expensive if it's not already been put in during construction. And the other thing is to look at protective hardware reinforcements, typically for sliding patio doors, especially on the first and second floor, and also for the actual suite door from the corridor. And sometimes that may mean a reinforcing plate. It may mean an additional deadbolt lock. In underground garages, which most condos typically have, concerns are theft from auto. So in other words, somebody leaves their laptop on the front seat of their car. It's likely to get stolen. And there has been an escalation in thefts from auto. So the number one way that people can protect themselves is don't leave valuables visible in their vehicle at any time. Another concern in parking is the question of people getting assistance in the event of an emergency. So duress stations are recommended for all parking garages. Now, most condos that are built today have duress stations. Now, a duress station, or an intercom. So the intercom just initiates voice communication between typically the lobby guard and the victim. On the other hand, a duress station, what happens is it initiates that intercom, but it also causes a flashing light to go off. It also causes a siren to sound, which are more likely to scare off the attacker. And ideally, each duress station should be covered by a closed-circuit TV camera so that the lobby guard, he or she, can see exactly what's going on. And we also have a forensic record of what the person did. So if your underground garage doesn't have duress stations or intercoms, it certainly should. And the other concern, I think, in underground garages is typically people piggybacking in via the overhead door. And we recommend, some overhead doors stay open for 35 or 40 seconds after a car goes in. Well, they shouldn't. They should probably close. We recommend 10 to 15 seconds. And so that's important. And if you have a serious piggybacking issue at your underground garage, one of the things we recommend are high-speed doors. There's a company called TNR that makes a high-speed rubber door that closes instantaneously after a car goes through it. Another alternative is to put in an outer control arm. So when the resident arrives, he or she uses a fob to lift the arm comes up, the car goes ahead, the arm comes down, and then they drive in. And even if the door stays open for 1 minute, it doesn't matter because the bad guy's got to get around that arm. So those are some of the concerns related to parking.